Hello, Grade 5. Welcome to another SST lesson. By the way, last week we talked about many different peoples with different cultures live on the plains, and we found out that those groups had something in common, including a reliance on the buffalo and shared religious beliefs. Now we're going to explore Lesson 4, which is about the Southwest and the West. By the end of this lesson, grade 5 will be able to describe how the Pueblo peoples adapted to their environment. And number 2, you'll be able to identify the ways of life of other peoples of the Southwest and West. By the way, we use peoples here because we are talking about different or distinct groups of Native Americans within the same region. Please remember that we use the one with S only to refer to ethnic or national group, right? But people without S is used in general as the plural of person. Okay, so let's start. Here are the 5 regions of the United States, grade 5. Last couple of weeks, we discussed about the eastern woodlands where you can find here, of course, in the east part. So you can see the northeast and southeast. And then last week, we talked about the plains where you can find here in the Midwest. And now we're heading to the west and the southwest. Alright, so let's get started and let's find out more about the people or native people of these regions. Let me introduce the vocabulary words of this lesson. Number 1 is adapt, means to adjust way of living to land and resources. Look at the words here. We have change, adjust, new or shift, transform, transition, and modify. So these are related words or associated with the word adapt. Okay, number 2 is staple. It is something that is always needed and used. For example, seafoods and dates are staple food in Qatar. Okay, number 3 is surplus, means an extra amount of something. So it could be an amount of something left over or an excess of production or any supply. Number 4, we have adobe. It is a brick or building material made of sun-dried earth and straw. Okay, this is how it looks like, grade 5. And adobe houses are also known as pueblos, and these houses are multi-story, made of adobe, as I've said, which is a clay and straw baked into hard bricks or of large stones cemented together with adobe. And number 5 is hogan. It is a cone-shaped Navajo shelter built by covering a log frame with mud or adobe. This one is something similar with wigwam, but the difference is wigwam is a round bark covered shelter, and this one is covered with mud or adobe. And last one, we have trade network. It is a system that allows people to get goods from faraway places. So tribes traded surplus goods for more scarce materials, grade 5, and this trading network developed to connect various or different tribes of people. Let's find out the native people of the Southwest and their ways of living. The desert Southwest, with its mesas, canyons, cliffs, and mountains, was a hard place to live. Intense summer heat and weeks can go by without a drop of rain or snow. Somehow, among the Native Americans who were able to adapt or adjust their ways of life to this land were the Hopi and the Zuni. Okay, Hopi live in what is today the state of Arizona, and the Zuni live further east in present-day New Mexico. So they and most other groups in the region became known as the Pueblo peoples. Like their ancient Puebloan ancestors, they live in pueblos built on mesas or on the sides of steep canyons. Okay, so look at the picture of mesa here. It is a landform, by the way, smaller than a plateau. And even in the dry environment, grade 5, the Pueblo people were able to grow their staple or main foods like corn, beans, and squash. They also found ways to collect water and to store surplus or extra amounts of food. And they also learned how to grow corn, which they used to weave blankets and clothing. And by the way, not all the people who live in the southwest were Pueblo. And we have this so-called Navajo, which also people who stayed or live in this southwest part of the region. Now let's get to know grade 5, the Pueblo culture. The desert environment shaped how both the Pueblo and the Navajo lived. By the way, let me tell you that deserts are not always hot. Their location, season, and time of day can significantly affect temperature. Alright? Little rain grade 5, so few trees grew. The Hopi and the Zuni used stones and mud to build pueblos. Other groups made houses from adobe or sun-dried bricks made of clay and straw. Okay, look at the example here. Then the Navajo as well built their homes called hogans. These cone-shaped shelters were built by covering a wooden frame with mud or adobe. Then the Pueblo and the Navajo tribes depended on trade for resources not found nearby. So they sometimes traveled far to trade their pottery and baskets with other tribes. Alright, grade 5, so this is the first part of this lesson. We're going to continue this and we're going to talk about the groups to the west. Alright, so I hope you've learned something. Please, if you have any question, just let me know. Bye for now.